Hey, it's Katie, and before we get started today, I just want to give you guys a content warning. The episode that you're about to see does talk about suicide and in some detail, so it won't be appropriate for all audiences. If you're struggling with thoughts of suicide or self-harm, then this probably isn't the video for you. But you're not alone, there is help now. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24/7, and you can call them at 800-273-8255. Give it a call, and if nobody has told you this today, know that there are people that are out there that love you and that care about you. Alright, so here's the episode. Hey there, I'm Katie Jones, and this is So About That, where we take questions and find answers. So, about the girl from Plainville. It's been trending lately, and maybe you're wondering why. It's the name of Hulu's newest original series, and they have been advertising it a lot. The series focuses on Michelle Carter, and this is a true story. She went to prison for using text messages to encourage her boyfriend to follow through on a suicide attempt while they were both teenagers living in Massachusetts. It's a one-of-a-kind case, and it brings up the question as to whether someone can be held legally responsible for another person ending their life. And after 8 years, this case is back in the spotlight. So let's break it down and I'll explain what exactly happened to Michelle Carter. Let's go back to 2012. Carter and Roy met each other while visiting relatives in Naples, Florida. To their surprise, they were both from the Boston suburbs, and they only lived about 30 miles away from each other. After their trips to Florida, they kept in touch, eventually forming a long-distance relationship, mostly talking over text and email. But both Carter and Roy struggled with mental health conditions.
Haven't recovered from social anxiety, depression. It's controlling me.
Carter reportedly developed an eating disorder from a young age, engaged in self-harm, and was taking medication from the age of 14. Roy also dealt with struggles of his own. According to court documents, he was allegedly physically abused by his father and grandfather and tried to die by suicide in 2012 after his parents divorced. Despite living in close proximity, the two saw each other in person only a handful of times after meeting in 2012. However, they always talked, exchanging thousands of text messages. And after finding out that Roy was considering suicide, Carter actually tried to discourage him and asked him to get professional help. Between 2012 and 2014, Roy would attempt suicide several times by overdosing on over-the-counter medication, water poisoning, drowning, and even suffocation. But court documents say that each time he either stopped or sought help. But in 2014, that all changed. Roy was still talking about suicide, even suggesting to Carter that they act like Romeo and Juliet. Carter then began to encourage Roy to go through with his plan, saying over text, "Always smile, and yeah, you just have to do it. You have everything you need, there's no way you can fail. Tonight is the night, it's now or never." After some planning between Carter and Roy put a gasoline-powered water pump in his truck and drove to the parking lot of a Kmart in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Carter had given him instructions, saying, if you emit 3,200 ppm of it for 5 or 10 minutes, you will die within a half hour. He turned on the generator, allowing the car to fill with carbon monoxide. While this was all happening, Roy spoke to Carter over the phone, but there are no records of what was actually said. However, court documents show during this time, Roy got out of the truck to breathe fresh air, abandoning another suicide attempt. While he was outside, Carter instructed him to actually get back inside the truck. He did and later died. During this time, Carter never notified emergency services or his family of what was happening. She did later tell her friends, though, saying she could have stopped him. During her trial, Carter's attorneys say her text messages fall under the First Amendment, and that Roy's actions were part of an ongoing pattern of mental health concerns. The judge disagreed with this, finding Carter guilty of involuntary manslaughter for her role in his death. She was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison, but would only have to serve 15 months. And in January of 2020, she was released 3 months early due to good behavior. Since her release, she has pretty much stayed out of the public eye, but several movies and documentaries have been made about her and Roy's story. She's still on probation and will be until August of this year, and part of those conditions include her being prohibited from collecting any sort of earnings on any of these projects that are made about her case. So she's not going to be able to collect on any of the money that's made from Hulu's The Girl from Plainville, which is now streaming. And that's why you keep hearing about the streaming series. Do you have any questions about why something is the way it is? Well, I want to hear from you, so go ahead and send over those questions. You can email me at mjones@10tampabay.com, or you can find me on Twitter at KatieJonesTV. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop a comment below. And here on The Deeper Dive, we have new episodes from this series, along with our Welcome to Florida series and Jenna's investigative series, What's Brewin'.